Hello and welcome to Broadsword Wargaming. My name is Oliver and in this video I'm going to be painting the worst, most scummiest, evil, sadistic, horrible, worst legion in the entirety of the Warhammer universe. And no, it's not the Ultramarines, it's the Word Bearers. Boom, shots fired. Yes, if you have followed the channel at all, you'll know myself and Kira got invited to the Warhammer Horus Heresy Open Day Age of Darkness launch event, and I had to paint a whole box set of Word Bearers. This timed perfectly with the campaign Lachlan and I have been doing, which is the Battle of Calth, Ultramarines versus the bad guys.
The Imperium is finished. It is falling. It is going to burn. Our father is done. His malicious dreams are over. Horus is rising.
I never wanted this.
Yes, Lachlan from Zorpazorp asked me to paint some models. Now, I didn't know what they were going to be, so all I was thinking was please be something cool.
Not Word Bearers, not Word Bearers.
Okay, so I need you to paint up a unit for me, and don't worry, you'll love them. They're Word Bearers.
Well, here we go.
Okay, let's get to it. The package has arrived from Lachlan and it is a juicy one. I've got 10 of the Resin Mark III Breacher Marines to do for the Word Bearers. I absolutely love these models. I've done a whole ton before for my Imperial Fists. Unfortunately, these ones are going to be red, but that's not a big issue. If you've not worked with resin before, do make sure to give them a wash with some warm water and dish soap, something like that, just to get the residue off. From experience, I know these particular models can be quite tricky. I found blue tack to be really useful as the arms with the guns attached don't always line up well with the gaps in the shield. So if you blue tack them on first, then you can glue one arm on once you've test and dry fitted the other. You'll eventually get them all to go, even if some guns have to be slightly sideways. You might need to do a bit of trimming as well, but if you just want to get them done nice and quick, blue tack and super glue will do the job. I decided to bling these up and make them a little bit more Word Bearer-y by adding in a power maul. These are a very classic Word Bearer weapon. Lorgar himself wields one in the face of his foes, so why not have them on the Sergeant too? When you have everything assembled and how you like it, you can start undercoating. You can use Chaos Black sprays from Games Workshop. You can use sprays from any other company. I here am using my trusty airbrush with the Vallejo Black Undercoat. It gives a nice soft smooth finish, which is perfect for the resin models. When you're happy, it's onto the colours. I'm using Rhinox Hide as a kind of zenithal, so from above you can do this with a dry brush as well if you wanted, or just paint it on. I'm trying to leave blacks in the very darkest recesses. It's quite hard to tell here, but you can just see the black has been knocked off by the brown, and the brown creates a really nice undercoat colour for the Word Bearers red. I mean, you're painting Word Bearers, right? So what other colour would you want other than Word Bearers red? Again, I am spraying this from above, so I'm trying to leave the black in the very darkest recesses and then let some brown show through as well. I'm going to focus the spray here onto the top of the backpacks, the base of the feet, the chests, and anywhere I'd like to get some light to really make the models pop. If you haven't noticed, I am doing these in sub-assembly, so I've kept the shoulder pads off and the shields off and the guns because they are going to be black. The highlight colour I'm using is corn red. This is going onto the very tips of the feet, the waists, the chests, the faces, and the tops of the backpack. It is of course entirely up to you how far you go with this highlight and if you want to make it even brighter. I did try to keep them relatively dark and brown, as if you make them too bright they will turn into Blood Angels, which would be amazing as I hate the Word Bearers, but I guess someone has to do it. Now, as I'm here diligently cleaning out my airbrush, I'm going to take this second to say thank you to all of the Patreons for the channel. Behind me is the Patreon Wall of Fame up in the studio. The camera auto-focused on that for some reason, so you know it seemed like the perfect opportunity to give it a plug. So thank you, Patrons, for all of your support. Right, where were we? Oh yeah, Word Bearers. Okay, so I have the highlights on these models now, and they're starting to look quite cool. The Sergeant looks nice. You can see there's a nice bit of contrast between the darker and lighter patches. So it's on to the Eshin Grey, and this is going to be used as the highlight colour for all of the blacks. It's the bolt guns. I'm going to try and spray this on just the front half. And on the shields, I'm going to aim to create fake light. You can see where the light from the studio is hitting, so why not use that as an example for where the light's going to go? The beauty with airbrushing is you can go backwards and forwards and change the gradients or the contrast as you go. Next up is lead belcher onto the trims. Now these Mark III models have an awful lot of trim, unlike the brand new Mark VI, which are a dream to paint because they have none. Of course, the Mark III models do have a special place in my heart because they look so damned awesome. Are they amazing in-game? I'm not really sure, but they are so good looking that you should have a unit anyway. Now, the silvers on here is looking quite bright, I know, but it will dull down after the next few steps. If you've struggled to keep the lines clean and crisp, don't worry, practice makes perfect, and you can always go back and tidy these up with the blacks or the reds or the browns as you go along. There's a lot of trim to do, stick with it, you'll get it done. Now, Nuln Oil, trusty old Nuln Oil, it has been redone by Games Workshop recently, but it still does the same job. Smother this into the recesses, everywhere you like to go. You're painting over black anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now, fear not, we are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. The word bearers are almost done, then we can put them away, back into a box, out of the way, so no one ever has to look at them. And if you're keeping track, I have said the word bearers 14 times now. If you are happy with your models, you could absolutely leave them like this, stick a few transfers on, and they are done. But we are going to take them one step further. I'm going to use something I don't always use, and this is oils and thinner. So I've got the Winsor & Newton black oil and some Sanzor odorless thinner. This stuff doesn't react very well with water, so make sure to give it a varnish beforehand, whether that's a gloss varnish or a spray varnish. It will tie the water in, and then you can use the oils. Now just tap this in, let the capillary action, meaning the oil paint will just flow down and drop through all the recesses there, look. And this gives them an extra dirty, darker look, which we're playing Heresy, we're painting 30k models, that's the look you want, I think, in the end. You can just tap this on all the nuts and bolts. You can paint this onto the actual reds and the armor themselves. So even if you haven't got the silver into the very recesses, this will do the job. But before you finish with the oils, get yourself a spongy egg makeup brush or any other kind of sponge. People use cotton buds as well, but I find they tend to leave little bits of fibers. So just tap this off anywhere where you think there's too much and you want it to be a bit lighter. Unlike standard acrylic paints, this is the beauty of oils. You can change and remove them and add it as much as you'd like. Just to finish the models off, I'm using the Geek Gaming Scenics Fast Dry Basing Glue with the Grimdark City Rubble available from BroadswordWargaming.com down below. This will tidy up those bases and get the models done. All in all, that took me a couple of days, and now I have a sweet unit ready to battle against the filthy, evil, foul I have a unit ready to die against the good old Ultramarines. If you haven't watched the battle reports, do make sure to go and check them out. Lachlan from Zorpazorp and myself have embarked upon an epic journey to do the entire Mark of Calth campaign series over on both of our channels. He is doing the epic, massive, huge, stupidly massive stuff, whilst I myself am doing the finer, smaller battle reports. There is also Benji, who has painted some scouts up as well, so make sure to go and check his video out, as all three have been released together. Thank you, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do make sure to give it a like and share, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.